your dad was saying how rough it was.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have any welfare, and black people took care of each other, and I think that's what's missing today. But I mean, how did the black family stick together?
They went to church and they associated together that way, and whoever needed it, if they needed extra service, they would just blend together. Sometimes they would take the mules and horses and go. This man got sick, said Nancy. The other man got sick in crop time. Well, these people would sacrifice a day from the church. They said, well, how about everybody going over to so-and-so's house tomorrow and give him a lift, plant his crop, whatever he needed, cut his wood, whatever he needed. They do that. They'd all associate together and go over and do that.
And I bet they didn't charge him anything.
Oh, no, we don't charge him. Well, no need to charge him because he couldn't pay nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't have nothing, we didn't either.
Yeah.
So they just go over and take the mules and plow, break up their land and plant it, whatever it was, and go back to there. Yeah, he wasn't able, when his crop got up and got ready for work, they make another sacrifice, and all of them were going for that. And that work.
Because they knew he had it. But I bet when you were a child, you met a lot of people who were old enough to live in slavery days.
Oh yeah.
What were they like? I mean, what kind of things did they say, and what kind of things did they talk about? What were they like?
Well, they just like we are now, talk about whatever they would think about. Now, they didn't have no schooling work. They didn't know nothing about, how to talk to schooling and stuff like that. But they would just use common language. Just sit there and talk, have good conversations, and learn about their business.
Did they ever talk about what it was like to be a slave?
Oh yeah, they talk about that all the time.
Now that's what I'm interested in. What kind of things did they say about what was it like to be a slave?
To be a slave, you just had to do what the boss said. The boss man, you would just hear a sermon. You done what he said. You didn't have no say so what you wanted to do. It wasn't what you wanted to do. You do what he wanted to do. That's where that worked out.
You didn't have no kind of life.
No. Then if you done a little something wrong, they'll put you behind. And nothing you can do about it. Take it, go ahead.
Yeah.
I heard them talk about all that. Yeah, it was rough back there. The Lord just brought us out to where we on our own. It's a blessing.
It is.
It's a blessing to be free. It's a blessing to be free. Yeah.
And the thing that really breaks my heart is, see, my grandfather was born a slave, what they call a slave.
Yeah.
And I remember some of the stories that my uncle used to tell us. And he was born a boy in slavery times in like the 1850s or the 1860s. And he said that, well, my uncle, my father's older brother, and he's the old Baptist minister that I'm talking about, he said that the owner, they never call him master, never call him boss, they just call him the owner. He said the owner chased my grandfather, the owner's wife chased my grandfather under a table, because I guess he was like a cabin boy. And she couldn't get him to come out from underneath that table. And she took a stick and she started swinging under the table to try to get him out and hit him in the back of his head. And for years and years, for the rest of his life, he had a scar on the back of his head. And I know that different things come down to different generations. And and we don't know why. But I have a scar on the back of my head. And some people might say it's a coincidence. Maybe it is. But the young people, it looks like they bear a mark similar to the old people. But I wondered, I'm leading up to a question. What do you think these young people today need. How did we lose them?
Well, they had a little too much freedom.
Let's take a listen to the sounds of the game.
Well, I mean, in the home there, sometimes a child do something, and he's told to do something, and he don't do it. We let him go.
The North Star
We let him
system,
go.
performance and technology.
And that's why. That's the way he wanted to do what I want to do.
Now, for a limited time,
The main thing is to train a child when he's
$99 to build with the North Star
young
system can be yours for just $4.99 a
to
month.
obey you.
That's right.
And you be sure that you try to ask him to do the thing that he really needs to do.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Don't just randomly say do this and care whether he does it or not.
Yeah.
So when you tell him to do something, be sure that that's what you want him to do. Then if he refuses to do it, you speak to him about it. Chastise him about obeying. Give him a chance, to realize that you are his daddy, boss, you might say. And he's under your supervision. You do what I say. And let him grow up like that, and he can let his children grow up like that and have a better country. But if you just tell him to do something he don't do it and it's all right, well, tomorrow if you want him to do it and you need to do it, he might not do it. Then he'd feel bad about it. You chastise him because you didn't do it yesterday. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
That thing he didn't care very much about him doing, you told him to do it, but he didn't do it. Then that gives him authority to think, now, whatever he tells me to do, I don't have to do it.
That's right.
And he will grow, that'll grow in him, and he will stand up to you later on when he grows up. He won't come against you about that.
Yeah.
Then you can't have much to say about that because he didn't do what you said yesterday,
That's right.
last year.
That's right.
And that's why it is. We just don't give thoughts to what we say a lot of times to our children, to bring them up. God wants us to bring them up in the nurture of love and care.
That's right.
And respect. And let him respect you and you respect him. See what I'm saying? But he is in your care. You got to train him. He can't train himself.
No.
And he wants to do what he wants to do. But that's not training. But if you let him alone, he'll train in his way.
That's right.
And he'll keep it all the way through his life.
And he'll pass it on when he gets older.
That's right.
And that's what you want. And there's so many parents that they want a child to do a certain thing, but they don't do it themselves. And I think that goes right along in what you were saying.
Yeah.
One day it's okay, and the next day it's not okay.
That's right.
You want me to be good, but I see you are not good.
See?
So what am I supposed to do? I go the way that I go.
See, that's the way it is. He'll go the way he wants to go. The thing that suits him better, he'll go that way.
But do you think it's too late for the young people today? Do they have any hope?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of hope.
For a short time, get 0.99 financing on all 99
But
Oldsmobiles. That means average finance savings of
it's time now
$26
to
on Alero.
be
At the
careful
Sunday special event, Metro Oldsmobile dealer now.
and live before the child the way you want the child to live before you. And then he'll see what you do, and he'll desire to do what you do a lot of times. The way you do it, he'll want to do it. See?
And he won't even know it.
Well, that's right, but what I'm saying is, if you just go carelessly doing things, he'll do the same
The
thing.
same thing.
So that's where the background is for a child. You got to have a training.
And a godly example.
Yeah. That starts in the parent. If they love the Lord, they'll do according to the Lord's plan. If they don't, they'll do what they want to do. I'm Dad, I do what I please.
Yeah.
You do what I say, and I'll do as I please. And that child will grow in there, doing what he want to do when he have a chance. And he won't be long before he take a chance to do it.
That's right.
So that's the thing about children. We got to train them.
The same characteristics that we have that came from our forefathers, they have forefathers too.
Sure they have.
And the same characteristics that whatever that was for them, it went down from one generation to the next, so we are in the same predicament because we're dealing with the same people.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of them were never born again. The second birth, they never have a second birth. They didn't care about it.
That's
they
right.
had everything they wanted there.
That's right.
Well, do you think that it's possible? I mean, do you know of any? Well, I guess it's not a good question. You wonder though, how can the situation be so bad in a Christian country? Everybody from the president down to the mayor, when that stuff was going on then, they was giving lip service to Christianity. They would go to church every Sunday. They was singing and praying, but yeah, they was raping and killing and doing all manner of things against people. How could they do that? And still, I mean, across the board, it's not like you got 3 or 4 people doing it, and then they're outlaws. This was the law. That's the norm.
Well, the country belonged to the white people, and they had us as their slaves, and we were just like the animals.
That's how they thought of it.
Yeah, that's how they used us as animals.
Yes.
Right.
They did that. If you done something they didn't like, they'd kill you and cover it up and keep going.
And didn't have to answer to
No,
anybody.
no. Not in this life. But there's a life they're going to have to answer to.
That's right.
Yeah. But it'd be laid on our families. If my dad was killed when I was a kid, I had no training. All like that. And all that stuff was handed down. They had to have a place to live, and they had to live with the slave, live with the slave owner. Get something to eat, get to live. It was rough like that, huh? It was rough in this country before welfare come in.
Yeah.
Well, take 19 and 30. If you weren't here at that time to know about it, but it was rough like in 1930.
That was during the time of the Depression. It just hit. Yeah.
Well, that was just because of things the way it was. And there was no welfare. And our parents had to do the best they could. Where we lived, those dads then could make cross ties, take a broadaxe and poleaxe and maul and get out there and go across the saw and cut down a tree or two. And the old boss had pasture where he didn't mind the tree being cut and clean up his pasture. You had to pile up your brush and everything, but you could have that cross tie. Maybe a tree would cut down and get 3 ties off that cross tie.
For the railroad?
Yeah, for the railroad. So you cut down that tie and take a broadaxe and poleaxe and go hack it. Broadaxe and hew it. Put good square corners on 4 sides and carry it to the market. Pick up 40 cents. But 10, as you got 10, you got $4. That's right now.
40 cents.
40 cents.
Well, how long would it take to make that 40 cents?
Well, depending on how shrewd you could work.
Yeah, because first you had to chop the tree down.
No, saw it down. Cut the cuts off. 8 foot deep, 8 foot long. When they got it right, they didn't have a face value as far as you could go, because you have to be squared up 6 by 8. 6 or 8 inches.
Uh-huh.
The square corner. And she squared that corner out, made that tag good, you get 40 cents for it. Then next, if you do a second, you could get 30 cents for a second. Play had round corners, you know, they didn't have a face value. All like that.
That's for the best one, right? The best.
The best cup
Square.
is 40 cents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, if you got a lesser,
yeah,
it was 30. It was.
Yeah, go down to 25 cents.
And I bet those. I bet that wood was heavy.
Oh yeah. Put on white and carry them down there. And then put a new one, square it up good, 40 cents.
40 cents.
Next thing they have around the corners, you go down there, maybe 25, 30 cents. Then how round the corner was, I go down there.
But then after the person got that 40 cents, what would they do with the 40 cents?
You go to the store and buy what you could buy, just whatever you had.
How far did 40 cents go?
Not very far. But it wasn't as high as it are now, you know. You could buy a sack of meal for 50 cents. And sugar was 7 cents a pound. Lard was about 18 or something like that. 18 cents a pound. Oh, it was rough back then, but you know, that was the way of life. We had to live.
Do you think welfare was good? I mean, it helped a lot of people out of depression. But do you think that since welfare now, black people, if you were to go out today and round up some of these young fellas, maybe about 15, 16 years old, and tell them, I want you to do some cross cuts for 40 cents. How many of you think that you would get to do that kind of hard work for 40 cents?
Man.
Not one. So I guess a lot of people the younger generations who have gotten used to so many handouts from the government, and I'm not saying this bad, but it did spoil a generation, I think, to the point where they don't want to work.
Yeah, that's right. They don't want to work.
So do you think that welfare is good, or is it? What do you think of welfare?
Well, welfare is good. It's real good. But it's being abused. It's being abused.
Yeah.
Welfare is for the needy.
Yeah.
But there's people who don't need it that's getting more than you get. More than I get. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where that's
where it started. But there's so many people who, in the 1970s, I used to work for New York City Department of Social Services. And at that time, the teenagers were getting out of hand in such a way that I could see where it led to today. But I know it started a lot further than that. And sometimes I try to trace it back to, was it the home? Was it the way they were raised? Was it welfare making them, spoiling them? Was it the abuse? And I still can't trace back, to my satisfaction, where it all started, where the corruption of our young people. I can't trace where it started. Where would you say the corruption of our young people started?
Welfare. Yeah. When he found out that he could go down there and sign up and get his whatever his allowance was, he didn't care about going out there working. He didn't care about that. Out in the woods till welfare day come. Whatever he made, leave his family and go somewhere else. And that's all the time till his time comes for him to go. And he'd be sure to be there early that morning.
Yeah.
What his allowance was. Then he go back home, there you go.
Then he started all over again to the next cycle.
Yeah.
Because I just feel that hard work. You know what hard work is.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you a story about a brother I had. I had a brother. just ahead of me, over by age. And he got where he wanted to go out and he was a big boy. And he got the little welfare check, they go out and gamble. They didn't want me to get all the other money. I know one night, and this lady I got drunk. My brother was there with me.